hat on.
Now, where's your hat? Where's your hat, Laura? No hat?
I got a clapper.
I got the whole shebang here. I
don't like
this. I don't like fire.
It's got sprinkles on it.
Me too.
You don't like fire?
No, not really.
Okay, well, let's hurry up and sing so you can blow the candles out.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
to you.
We're
Happy
all
birthday, dear Joseph.
Jose Antonio Francisco.
Queen.
Happy birthday
to you.
to you.
And many more.
Woo! And the crowd goes wild.
All right, Joe, make a wish. We love you. I'll blow it out for you.
I'm gonna help you out.
Yay!
Yay!
We love you. Happy birthday.
I wish I had a cupcake.
Oh my god. You have a podcast?
Okay, compose yourself. Everybody stay calm.
I had a mental breakdown.
Little cheeky fuckers.
Am I dreaming? Because I can't see. I can't read.
Are the road Coral days behind us?
I'm going to talk about Jose Antonio Francisco.
You are listening to the Quinn-tessentials podcast.
It's the birthday episode.
Happy birthday!
It is the birthday episode.
Joseph!
Happy birthday. We hear you're turning 47.
Don't look a day past 25.
Don't look a day past 50. I tell you, I'm kidding.
29 years old, Joseph! Okay.
Yay.
You're doing the last year of your 20s, babe. It's
Go fly by.
honestly, what do you remember about the last year of your 20s?
God, that was 3 years ago for me. I know I don't remember much about it, but I know I've done a lot of growth since then.
Yeah. I love that. I think that the last year of my 20s, I made it such a point to really spend time in my emotions and reflecting so much of my 20s that I really wanted to make sure that by the time that I made it to 30, I was like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I definitely went through a lot of change, and like turning 30 is what kicked me in the ass to go to SD school and start my 30s on like a new path for me. So yeah, definitely.
Look at us, just growing queens.
So all this to say, happy birthday to Joseph.
Happy birthday.
We are so happy for you for everything that you've accomplished in this last year. We can't wait to see what you accomplish in this next year. Welcome to the official episode 2.
Yes.
That's right.
The Quinn-tessentials podcast season 2. Can you believe we've made it through I'm still like season 2. We're here for another season.
Mm-hmm. It's wild.
Anywhere.
No. Oh my goodness. But we have so many great things to talk about today. I think that we really wanted to, and Shannon, I'm obsessed with your happy birthday sign. I can't. It looks so cute.
I got it Five Below.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I know. Honestly, I think Shannon and I got the same cupcake. It's freaking delicious. If you ever go to Target, is it moist? Is it super moist?
Oh, people hate that word. You gotta be careful, Laura.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's actually like filling inside, so it's very moist actually. So
Great. That's great. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. Don't
it's
cancel.
only $3.50 for like a jumbo cupcake. Like, it's perfect.
Just for everybody listening, I'm just sitting here watching them eat cupcakes because I didn't get a cupcake. And I'm very upset about my life choices.
I'm sorry.
I'm upset for you, Dee.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm really happy that you guys are acknowledging the fact that I'm suffering right now.
Here, take a bite. It's okay.
Thank you.
I would have loved to do like the Joe's favorite dessert, the affogato with the pistachio ice cream for his birthday. I would like to challenge somebody to just make it at a Cold Stone or something like that. You can do that. You can get like coffee flavored ice cream, and you can it should be a flavor that Ben and Jerry's does.
Yeah. You
Brand
could
deal. Look at me.
You could do like a scoop of the espresso ice cream, a scoop of the pistachio ice cream, and then just mash it together, and it's just a mess. Some Madeleines, yeah.
Do they have Madeleines at Cold Stone?
You could pick some up at Target on your way home. Have some already in the car waiting for you. Have a little snack-a-rooney in the car.
My birthday gift to Joseph is this idea of a brand deal. You know what I mean? Like, Joseph, happy birthday. Ben and Jerry, reach out to Joseph, because I promise you everybody in this fandom will fucking run and buy it.
Oh, wait, is it Cold Stone or Ben and Jerry's?
If you don't want to just get like a pint with it already done, you can go to Cold Stone and have them make it.
Right.
Sort of, yeah. With like an alternative for the Madeleines. But Ben and Jerry's could absolutely come up with a flavor for it.
If the Late Show can have their own flavor, Joseph Quinn can have their own flavor.
100%.
Honestly, I mean, Colbert's ice cream from Ben and Jerry's is the best.
My favorite is a New York super fudge chunk. It's good.
The one that's called Fish Food, that's PHISH, is
Me
also
too.
Like so good. Yeah.
My favorite.
So good. So good. My sister loves the Dublin mudslide one.
Ooh.
Sounds like a place to go and like actually mudslide in Ireland. Just like
yeah, there were a couple of pieces of work that Joe has been in that we didn't really get to go over last year. And Shannon had this great idea that we should go, over them for his birthday episode. Maybe talk a little bit about Arthur Havisham, a little bit of Enjolras. Maybe a little theory play for A Quiet Place Day 1. How do we feel?
I think this sounds like a good idea.
Well, what an episode we got lined up for you guys.
Buckle in, guys. Hope you got your seatbelts on and ready to go, because we're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky, little line signs. Okay, so should we start with Les Mis or should we start with Dickensian?
Well, Dickensian was his first like big role outside of theater, correct?
It was.
He was a little baby in that. His little face. Oh my god.
Are we doing spoilers? Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen any of these,
he dies.
I missed a lot, so I literally accidentally watched, I think, episode 20, and then I went back and watched 1 because I thought it was playing episode 1. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? But yeah, so basically it starts with the dad of Arthur and his sister passing away, and Arthur's like, I want to know what I'm getting. And the sister's like, whatever. And the other guy's like, no, maybe you should wait after the holidays, And then he's like, no, today at 5, I want to know how much money I'm getting. And then he gets in there and they're like, you're only getting this much. And Arthur's like, what the fuck? So that's basically where I'm at right now.
Yeah, a lot happens. Like, it's been a minute since I watched Dickensian, but there are some storylines that I remember. He's a very tortured soul in this show. He's struggling with the passing of his dad and then him coming to terms with his own personal issues.
We've done a spoiler alert, so if you can kind of talk about it openly.
Okay, so he is gay and he gets called out for it a few times, but I don't think they outwardly come out and say it. If I remember correctly, like if I'm saying something wrong, my apologies. It has been a minute since I've watched it, but yeah, you just watch his inner turmoil just spill out on screen, not only through his acting, but like you feel every emotion. I say that about every single character that he plays, but you literally see it and you feel it. And he is a tortured soul in this show, and it is very upsetting.
There was one scene where, I don't know if he's an employee of the Havisham family or if he's actually a family member, but it was the day of his sister's wedding. And he came to say, like, look, your dad just knew you had it in you to make something of like for yourself. He saw a lot of him in you. And I'm watching that thinking Arthur knows damn well why his dad didn't give him anything. And it was because of his sexuality. But Arthur, of course, didn't say that. But that that's why his dad didn't give him anything. For sure. Yeah.
Do you think that it was harder to watch Arthur or Leonard to you, knowing that Leonard Bass was your favorite character?
I actually watched Dickensian first, and then I watched Howard's End, and I was more emotionally traumatized by the death of Leonard Bass than I was Arthur Havisham.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know if it was something within Leonard's character that drew me. Like I felt like I needed to protect the both of them, but there was something more fixable and attainable about Leonard's character.
You had
And
more hope for Leonard's character.
I had more hope for Leonard, whereas about mid-season, you kind of get the gist that Arthur is still trying, but it's not going to end well for him. Whereas with Leonard, I'm like, I can fix you and I can make your life so much better. And then for him to be taken out by a bookshelf, listen, I have my thoughts. I'm going to keep them to myself. I am still very upset about this. But I think it's because exactly what you said, Laura, I had more hope in Leonard's character because you could tell by watching Joe portray Arthur Havisham that Arthur had no hope left by the end of the episode of the last season.
He got so selfish so fast, and despite his hurt and what he was struggling on the inside, he was such a brat. Such
He was a little
brat. Dang, I was like, I hate you right now, Joe.
You hated him. It was
a little
easy to hate
bit.
him.
A little bit.
I will tell
that.
you, there was one part in particular that literally broke me in Dickensian. It's when he had his own agenda, of course, going into this conversation with his sister. But I feel like there was a part of him that was like, I really do want to try to mend this relationship with my sister. And it was on her wedding day, and he got down on his knee and he was like, we can fix this. We're family. I love you. I'm your brother. And she looked at him and said, I don't have a brother. And his face, I literally like clutched my chest.
Yes.
I felt that. Like, me and my sister are the closest siblings you're ever going to find in your life. But like, we had tiffs growing up, and it's like to hear somebody say that about a sibling.
Right.
I couldn't even imagine the amount of hate she had to have had towards Arthur to say those things to him. And his face was like, not only like, well, shit, this didn't work out, but it's also, you saw the hurt that he felt.
Right.
That's really sad.
It is so sad.
But, you know, oh my gosh. So there was no hope at all whatsoever, right? When you watched Arthur's character, you definitely hated him a little bit when you're when you're watching him perform.
Well, see, and that's another thing too. It's like on the very last episode, you're very well aware of what happens to him and how the episode ends. Yeah. But even though he had his moments where you were completely and utterly frustrated with him and his character and how he was treating the people around him,
right,
you did still have a lot of sympathy for him, because I pulled a lot of my own issues out of Arthur. You know, my struggling to want to please everyone and have what I want and have what I want when I want it.
Right.
And to watch him lose all of that hope, and then at the very end, he didn't have the will to want to keep that hope alive. They don't outwardly show what happened, but you know what happens. And so at the end, you're just left and you're empty. And I think out of all of the characters in the shows and the movies that I've watched him in, I will say Leonard was the one I was most upset about, but I was devastated when I watched the end of Dickensian.
So would you say that he was a doomed character from the beginning?
100%.
So, and I think it's funny that we say that, because that's how Ross and the Duffer Brothers described Eddie, as a doomed character from the beginning. I genuinely think they're going to bring Joe back for season 5. I don't necessarily think that Eddie is going to come back to life if he did in fact fully die. And they did confirm him dead, but I don't know. They've contradicted himself a lot. And I'm sorry to go back to Eddie, but they did deem him a doomed character from the beginning, because even if they were to fix his life, what would he have gone back to? And I argued that kind of says something negative towards an underdog. But I feel like with Arthur Havisham, that doesn't exactly, that can potentially apply because of the environment that the show is set in, you know?
Right.
At that point in time, things weren't very easily accepted, especially his lifestyle, not lifestyle, but who he was, you know?
Right.
Exactly.
So I can see that verbiage be used to describe Arthur a little bit more easily than Eddie.
Yeah. And I think too that that's another reason why Arthur Havisham and Dickensian is such a crowd favorite, because a lot of people find similarities of themselves in Arthur's character. They can relate to the struggle that he's going with, trying to find himself, trying to decide on if he wants to rectify the wrongs that he's done in his life or just keep going down this path that he's going down. He's also in this weird limbo MO of like a partner slash friend slash am I interested in this person type relationship with this other character that's in the show that completely treats him like crap. And there's a scene in particular that I don't really like talking about, but he doesn't do some very nice things to Arthur, but then the next day he's still part of that person's life. And it's like people find similarities, like they keep going back to people and things like that. And I think that that's another reason why a lot of people really tend to hold on to Arthur Havisham as well.
And even just being an equal to his sister. I mean, he's like, it's not my fault my mom's a cook. He married a cook. Like, why is that my fault? You know, that he came from a lesser mom where Emily gets, what's her name, Emily?
I think her name is Emily, yeah.
Emily got everything, way more. And they're like, well, you get to share the brewery. And like, what, she gets everything else? It's like, he just wants to also feel like he meant something to his dad, the same as Emily.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, those are my thoughts and feelings on Dickensian.
I mean, I can confidently tell you guys that I did not watch a single episode of Dickensian.
I can tell by how you were running that interview.
But I can't wait to watch it.
It's a good one. It's very good.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it, but I feel like I also have to be like emotionally prepared for it.
There's a lot of other little stories around it. So they go into like, of course, Charles Dickens's biggest story, which is with Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge. They go into that, and it's mainly that timeline, and then Arthur's pretty much, right? Like it's those two big,
So we'll have to check back in mid-season and see how far along Laura is.
Yes.
I think that's a great idea. I think we can do like a watch along with Laura.
Ooh.
How many episodes are there?
A lot, but I think they're 30 minutes
12, 14. Cool.
Well, I would love to watch it. Well, okay. So we've gone over Dickensian. The other one that we're going to go over is Les Mis. Les Miserables.
Have you watched that one?
I am very familiar with Les Mis. Just not Joseph's Les Mis.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Yesterday was supposed to be my day to watch all of these things. And then I got roped into tasks.
The life. We have a life outside of this podcast.
Yeah.
Don't tell the people that. They're not supposed to know. So this is great because I'm very familiar with Les Mis. I have seen Joseph's performance of Les Mis. And so I think that my favorite thing about his character in Les Mis is the comparison between his version of Enjolras and Aaron, I can never know how to pronounce his last name. Tveit. He's this Broadway star who sings beautifully. He was in the Broadway rendition of Moulin Rouge. He was in the musical Next to Normal.
Got it.
But in that version, it's a musical. It's the version with Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe and Amanda Seyfried and Eddie Redmayne.
And Hathaway.
And Anne Hathaway, Oscar winner Anne Hathaway. But this is different. This is a limited series, correct?
Mm-hmm. And it has some really good cast members in this as well.
Yeah.
There's Dominic West, who plays Jean Valjean.
Jean Valjean.
Thank you. Ooh,
Jean Valjean.
Sorry, don't
Jean
come
Valjean.
at me. And then David Bradley is in it. He's in Harry Potter, the one with the cat. And he's like, trolls are in the dungeon.
Yeah, he plays another a-hole old guy.
Yeah. And then Lily Collins is in here. She plays Fatine.
Oh.
And then our girl, Olivia Colman, is in this as well.
Yes.
Wow.
She got a Cockney accent in this one.
Yep.
And
So
then our
was
boy
this
Joseph.
pre or post Mosquitoes?
This was after.
This was like
After
2019. This came out.
Yeah, there's a very, very good cast in this. And then we've got our boy Joseph.
Love him.
And then his right-hand man, Marius, and I'm trying to think of the other guy's name. Courfeyrac. Courfeyrac.
Hold on. Who? What's the
His name's Archie he's got a hard name either way, you guys.
Kufrak.
Kufrak. Okay, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
But they are wanting to storm the revolution and just.
Yeah. The first time I saw Joe sitting at that table as Enjolras, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I was like, that's a new man. That's not Joe sitting there. The moment he came on as him, I was like, I've never seen Joe play this kind of man before. And then I didn't know there was sword fighting in this. And he did a bit of sword fighting. And I was like, what?
Yep.
And I was
Didn't you look at his sheet?
Yeah,
and
I sent it, and it's a sword fighting.
combat.
But I didn't know he like exercised it yet, like on screen. And I know they had guns and stuff. They were using guns, but I didn't know they would be a little sword fighting. So, so that was nice. But he got so like aggressive and passionate, and just like I was like, this is a new man. So that's why I made my TikTok, because I was just like blown away.
He's very assertive.
Yes,
that's the biggest thing that I got, because I went from only knowing Joe as Eddie, who we all know and love Eddie's character. He's just kind of aloof in there, and just like
he runs away.
Yeah. And then I went Les Mis was like the third thing that I watched, because I did Makeup, Dickensian, Les Mis, and then Howard's End. And I remember like Laura or like Shannon, you see him and you're kind of like panning the room, like in any scene you're like, where's Joe? Let me see Joe. And that first scene, he stands up and he's trying to talk his friends into like joining his movement, and I'm just like, sir, you're
like standing up like, sign me up for the revolution.
But he's so assertive and strong and passionate about what he's talking about. And if I was in that room and I had that many glasses of wine in my belly, I'd be like, let's go.
Be like, I die
We're
for
gonna
you
fight these
and friends.
To the death.
Yes.
To the
Fight to the death.
Oh my God.
This is also the show where they had to write in the red bandage on his hand because he almost sliced his finger off. I still don't know how, but yeah, he showed up to the filming of Les Mis and they're like, yo, bro, what's wrong
Where'd
with
your finger
go? I don't think it completely came off, but it was like pretty close from what I've heard. I haven't heard any of the reasons as to why he was almost missing a finger, but they literally had to write it in to the script. And that's why you see that red bandage on his hand.
And I was actually like watching, it was when they were at the barricades, and I was watching how he was moving his hand. It's like he almost wanted to act with that hand, but he was like, oh, no. And then he just kept going back to the other hand. It's like he knew, he's like, fuck, I can't do anything with his hand. Like you could tell it was hindering him like a little bit.
Wasn't the scene that they wrote in where he was coming around the corner and he got shot in the hand? They shot him in the hand so then he could wrap. That's where the scene that you see in all the edits where he's wrapping the thing around his hand. It's like, you cheeky fucker.
They really thought of everything. I love it. See, this is why they get paid the big bucks, right? They know how to pivot from things like this. That's awesome. So, okay, if you had to,
God, you're gonna make me pick, aren't you?
No. I said, if you could, no, I know your answer, Danielle.
No, maybe I'll try to mix it up. Everybody knows my answer, but maybe I'll throw a wild card into the deck today.
No, because I know what the answer, excluding Leonard.
Oh.
Oh my God.
She's playing dirty.
Because we all know Leonard is the one that wins this question. The truth is Leonard deserves a second chance. A check and chance.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Leonard
Leonard deserves to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Leonard deserves a second chance. Which of Joe's characters would you save if you could only save one? Who deserves it the most out of Joseph's characters?
And you took Leonard away from her.
And I took Leonard away because we all know Leonard deserves a second chance. But like,
I'm gonna have to think about this.
Oof, come on now.
I'm gonna say
no. Actually, I'm gonna fix this. Who deserves a happy ending? Because it's not just who can live. You can live and be miserable. Get it? Live is
no. You can. I see what you did there, girl.
But you can live and be miserable.
But I'm gonna go with Grunar from Overlord.
Oh, Scheisse!
That's a horrible fucking choice.
He looked so handsome in that uniform, though. Like 100%.
I don't know why you guys are laughing at me. This man didn't even get a chance to like try to battle whatever it is that they were going into.
That's true. He just got blown up.
Like,
what if he's a horrible human?
Did you see that sweet cherub face yelling Scheisse?
He looked so cute in that scene.
He has never hurt a fly. I am convinced he lives with his grandmother. He was forced into the war when the draft happened. He's never killed anything in his life. He's got 3 cats and they forced him into war and he got blown up before he even had a chance. I want him to live and have a happy life.
Aww. You're telling me you think that he deserves a second chance and
don't even say it.
And you don't think Enjolras deserve to live? Arthur deserves a second chance at happiness. Eddie, Tom,
No comment.
Tom.
I'm not changing my answer.
Okay, all right, I love it. Shannon, whose fate would you change out of all of his characters?
Well, I would say that Arthur is. I don't really know if he has any redeeming qualities.
Would his second chance be warranted? Like, would he make the best and the most out of his second chances? I think it's what I'm gathering from what you're saying.
And that's why I'm like, is he really going to reap the most benefits from that situation? No.
So who would you give it to? Then,
So I guess I'm talking through my
She's going through all the emotions.
and Enjolras is such a he set himself up for that. He said, I am dying for my country and what I believe is right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's not like this happened to him, unfortunately.
Well, you're dwindling down here, girl.
Yeah. I mean, everyone I think would say Eddie. Because we all want Eddie to come back. But in the words of Joe, well, seems pretty dead, doesn't he? And he completed the arc for Eddie.
So who are you saving? This is not the American Idol. This is not figuring out who the next American Idol is, Shannon.
Well, Tom's not dead, so
You could change his life story, though.
he could
Give
find
him a second chance.
beautiful, lovely woman that's not gonna, fuck with him. So I'm gonna go with Tom. Another chance at happiness.
All right.
Laura, yours?
Leonard Best.
You? I knew you were gonna do that.
Oh my god.
Y'all, she's cruel. At least I know he's being saved.
I'm just kidding.
Well, what about the brother?
The brother?
The brother in that series, that short that Joe did where his brother was adopted. What about his happy ending, Laura?
Who I was gonna say was the
Are you sure?
Well, I was thinking I was gonna say either him or the drunken frat boy deserve not to get punched, but
well, you don't know what he said.
Nobody knows what actually happened.
Yeah.
So maybe he did. No, I was thinking for sure. Was his name Jesse?
That sounds right.
Jesse.
I think that sounds right.
I wanted to say Eddie, and honestly, I was between Eddie and Jesse, but I think Jesse, because Jesse actively chose to be like, you know what, like he just went so fucking out of his way to get his brother back. He was fighting tooth and nail. The brother came to him. I mean, that whole story really just fucking took it out of me emotionally. And you just want to grab his character and just like give him a hug and be like, here's the money that you need to have a really great life with your brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would love to give him a second chance and just kind of a big fat check. And
to Jesse.
Is it Jesse? I hope to God that we're not like misnaming him. Hold
His
on.
character.
Yeah.
His hair being so short like that literally made him look so ginger, though. Like,
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
how reflective his hair was in that light? I was like, oh my God, he looks like a redhead.
Hold, please. Let's find out.
Jamie?
How the fuck did we get that wrong?
Forgive us.
Well, we only saw it
Forgive
once,
us.
and when we think Jamie Campbell Bower.
No. Gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, I think that Jamie for sure would be who I would save.
Aw, that's
I love that.
perfect.
Or Leonard, but I'm gonna leave Danielle to.
You can no, because I've already made my choice and I am upset with you, but we're moving on.
Moving on. I mean, think about it. We could all go and hold the bookcase up.
No, because nobody picked him.
And then we
And
can take him to the doctor and get him treated for his pneumonia and.
Nope.
Okay.
Nobody picked him, so he's still dead underneath that bookshelf, and it is all your fault, Laura. Moving on. We need to move on from this subject.
Speaking of Joe's characters getting second chances. I am ready to open up this conversation and come up with our theory of whether or not we think that this role he is about to embark on, this journey, is one that has a happy ending And by happy end, honestly, by happy ending, I mean just ends the movie will hit with him still breathing. He could not be happy at the end of it, but as long as he's still breathing, a win is a win. A win is a win.
Yes.
So what do you think? Do we think he's gonna live in a quiet place? I also want to touch on
I think that they're going to keep him alive.
just like that. I love it.
I full-heartedly believe that the director of this film sees the potential that Joseph is, and if they kill him off in the first movie, they're not going to have him for another movie. So I feel like they're going to keep him for this movie.
Ooh. Wow. So wait, is there how do we know that there's potential for another movie after this, or is it
We got day 2.
a theory?
Just kidding.
Or are you theorizing? No, this is a great
I'm
this is a great point.
theorizing because the first 2 Quiet Places with Emily Blunt and John, there's 2 of them. And if this goes well, which I believe it will,
Yeah.
I don't see him getting rid of Joe in the first movie.
Amazing. So I want to read brief descriptions of the first and second A Quiet Place. Directed by John Krasinski. Screenplay is by John Krasinski. Producer, yeah. John Krasinski is one of 12 producers for this movie.
Wow.
And actually, it's also produced by Michael Bay.
Oh, big name.
Not enough explosives, in my opinion, for it to be Michael Bay. But that's
More
why
of a
he's
quiet-based movie, though.
Explosions aren't really quiet.
kind of an
We all see
ironic-
what happened to the child when the spaceship went off, okay? Think of what would happen if an explosion happened.
So the premise of the movie is that there are these monsters that land on Earth. They are aliens that land on Earth, and they don't see, but they hear. And so you have to be very, very, very quiet.
We're
'Cause if you're not-
hunting rabbits.
So you have to be very quiet. If you're not quiet, they hear you and then they come tear you to pieces. And then that's the movie. That's it. He has a family. I think he has how many children in the first movie?
He has a daughter and 2 sons.
Yeah.
He has a daughter and 2 sons. And in the first movie, his wife is pregnant with their 4th child. However, like right at the beginning of the first movie,
The little baby child gets swiped up by the alien.
the kid dies. The family is mourning. Emily Blunt is pregnant. The whole thing is you're trying to figure out how you're going to survive. But there's really no background story on how this comes up, right? You get to A Quiet Place Part 2. In this movie, you see that day 1, really. You get to see the first day that these creatures attack the town that John Krasinski lives in, and you see him like at a baseball game, and Cillian Murphy's in it, which like you had to have like a heroic male figure, I guess, since spoiler alert, John Krasinski's character does not make it. And then the next movie is just basically them trying to figure out how to really beat the aliens. But I'm very curious as to the plot line for day 1. Do we think Joe's character is like a scientist, an astronomer? I don't know. Like I picture him as somebody who's like working somewhere, and he's like part of the discovery team that sees this starting to happen and them like coming down and like prepare for it, and then they attack, and then him and I don't know, Lupita are trying to sort through what's going to happen.
I love that idea because I feel like everyone assumes that they're just going to be average ass people.
Yeah.
Again, dealing with aliens. So it's just in another part of the world. But I think that's really cool because it'll be really nice to get a new perspective and hopefully learn more about the aliens and why they're there. So
like, I wonder if they'll be able to if it'll be more informational, if they'll be able to do like studies on like he's the scientist that gets to do like autopsies on these creatures and peel back the layers and find out what they're made out of and stuff like that. Like for some reason, that's the kind of character I see him and or Lupita doing. And then maybe they're working together. That's sort of the direct plot line that I can kind of like imagine in my head. But I feel like a lot of people are theorizing that this will be a romantic connection between Lupita's character and Joe's character. So what do you guys think?
I think people are romanticizing that idea because a lot of people want to see that side of his acting.
Yeah.
You haven't really gotten a lot of it, but I have this idea as far as like what I think the plot is going to be is I think Lupita is going to be the scientist.
Ooh.
And then Joe is going to be within a city of some sort, if you will. And I'm hoping that we get more of a backstory because we still don't know why this is happening. They still have not told us absolutely anything as to why these asteroids or meteors or spaceships have crashed into the world. And I think day one is going to be very important to the plot of this movie, that it's going to show us a little bit of leading up to it. And then day one happens, all hell breaks loose. And I just have this vision that Joe is going to be in a city of some sorts, and somehow Lupita is going to be the scientist. And this is what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be a hero and a damsel in distress. And he's going to swoop in and be like, just come with me to be safe. And then they're either going to go one of two ways. They're going to hit it off and they're going to work together, and it's going to be like a friends type relationship, or it's going to be they're going to meet up and they're going to be butting heads because Lupita's the scientist. And she's like, that's not what's happening. We need to do it this way. And he's like, oh, well, I've got this heavy duty gun and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to.
Do you see him being like a gun wielding?
I want to see it.
Yeah. I love that.
I really want him to have an opportunity to show us that stronger side. Kind of like more of the Les Mis route, assertive, knows what he's going to do, has a plan. And
you want to see him turn into Hopper.
Yes.
Can I just say though, what I noticed from when they show like the first day in A Quiet Place Part 2 is that nobody knew anything was happening, that an asteroid was coming to Earth or anything, but somebody had to have known. And the government said, no, we ain't saying nothing. We're going to try to deal with this on our own. And they couldn't. And that's what they really wanted to document. What I read is that what if everything happens so fast that government can't even intervene? Because anytime aliens invade Earth, they're like, attention, aliens are invading Earth. Beware. Sorry. Nothing like that happened. It just all happened so quickly. So I would like to think that there are people up in NASA, SpaceX, Elon Musk, just studying aliens for a long time, and then oops, they're here. So I really like those theories that you guys put out, that they're scientists. I hope it's a whole other like realm,
or even like a government official, like that could be part of this. We know it's happening, but we had no idea it was going to happen this soon.
Your face, I'm so sorry.
What?
Just her face. She looks terrified. She was like,
my ADHD, like my intrusive thoughts just took over. And so I lit the candle again, and then I set my nail on fire. So sorry.
I'm sorry, Danielle. I just saw her face and I was like, what is going on?
My train of thought is gone.
I'm so sorry. Okay,
it's okay.
We were talking about.
Go get some ice or something if you need.
No, it's not that. It's just the nail is melted.
Oh.
You see it?
Oh my God, go get a file.
I will say though, I really want to see a like frenemies to lovers type of situation.
I would love to see him in that. I think he would crush that. Do you think he'll have an American accent in this or a British accent?
I think it all takes place as to what character he's playing and where these aliens crash this time. That's another thing. Another one of my theories is, what if Joe is a part of this community that John and Emily are a part of, Emily Blunt and John Krasinski? When all hell breaks loose, they go their separate ways. But like, what if at some point Emily and Joe meet up and Emily and her family are in this movie?
Fascinating.
Could be. Also, they said that the asteroid crashed in Mexico and it was something comparable to an atomic bomb, but they weren't sure if the rest of the planet was affected yet. Because who knows how many aliens there were, how far the explosion like shot them out. We don't know if, London was just having tea and crumpets until all of a sudden aliens are falling from the sky here as well. We don't know where all the other like we don't know like what the rest of the world is, but we know it happened in America, North America.
I automatically thought of Cloudy with a Chance of Aliens.
Instead of meatballs.
But
aliens.
Back to your question, I would love to see him have a movie with his British accent. But I heard a little tickle of a rumor. Are you ready? A little rumor.
I don't know.
I love rumors.
I heard that Joe has been spotted practicing sign language.
Cue me. Oh, so
OMG.
we're not gonna hear. Do you think he's gonna be like deaf? Do you think he's not gonna talk at all in this movie? Like,
Well, if you realize Hayden, who is John Krasinski's daughter, is deaf in both the first and the second movie. So their main form of communication is sign. And so it makes me wonder if maybe this will get him speaking for a little bit, because it's day one. So everything is happening on that first day. So I think we're going to be able to hear him for a little bit. But if he's practicing sign language, then he's going to be communicating with sign language, and he's not going to be able to use his words. So all of that acting that we know that he's capable of is going to be coming from his body language and his facial expressions.
and
I can't wait.
And what's great too is that from A Quiet Place, I loved getting the perspective of the deaf person and how they can't hear shit of what's going on. They can only see what's going on around them. And I'm wondering if they want to transfer a little bit of that usage of the mute into this one. What if Joe is hearing and then somehow loses his hearing?
Ooh,
When is this movie supposed to come out?
I thought it was next March. Really?
It's a 2025.
2025?
I will Google it again. Hold on. Sorry.
They're gonna make us wait 2 years.
God.
Oh, it says, oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Where did 2025 come from?
That's where they're thinking that Stranger Things is going to be pushed until 2025.
Oh.
Wait, can we touch on that? Did they say why they think that?
It's just what is all over the internet. You also hear that there's a scene from the movie Slumberland with Jason Momoa of this girl climbing out of a hole. And they're like, the Duffer Brothers leaked the first scene from The Crawl season 5. And it's like a girl that looks just like freaking 11 crawling out of a hole. And I'm like, get out of here. This is Jason Momoa's movie.
Oh.
So it's like, you can't believe there's so many things going around at any given moment as to what is going on with that television show. We're already 8 months in, ladies. We've already waited 8 months. Like, what's another year and a half?
A lot. So many things can happen. I could have a child between now and then. I won't.
So far,
just saying.
it says
My whole life could change.
It says sometime between May and July of 2024 still, but that was
Perfect.
from January 6th. So it was a couple weeks ago, but I guess we'll see. I'm sorry, I just wanted to also mention, if I didn't already, they made it seem like the asteroid appeared by accident. I was reading an article about the theories of Day One, if they are going to start talking about how intelligent these aliens really are, and if they were really just riding this asteroid like a surfboard and just diving off wherever the asteroid decided to let them off, or if they're like steering the asteroid like, this is the planet, we're going to go eat humans, blah, and then they just go. I'm just trying to figure out, like, if their landing on Earth was intentional or not intentional.
Are these like signs aliens?
Are they smart, or are they just like, ah, blah, 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 blah,
Because like the aliens in Signs were very intelligent,
but hated water.
Maybe
talk
these
about-
aliens just hate a man that looks handsome all the time, aka Joseph.
They can't see, but they know, they feel it.
Yeah. I'm excited to like just see this, and then I want Horde to be released. Like,
Finally.
Yeah. Do we have an ETA when that's going to come out? Is it still going to come out like
No.
next year?
I don't know if it's even been purchased yet.
I hope I hope they don't shelve it. No, you know what? I think it's going to come out. I think it's going to come out because The Last of Us is opening up the realm of zombies
Again.
all over again.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'm thinking it's going to come out sometime this year.
I gotta see Joe going,
Do you think? That's another thing. Like, I don't even. All right. How do we feel?
I feel excited and overjoyed that it's Joe's birthday.
Happy birthday, Joseph. Oh my gosh. Please enjoy the last year of your 20s. You're going to love your 30s. I've been in it for 2 months now, and they're great. I hate it here. I hate myself. I'm having one of those like super weird days where like my personality and my brain just aren't lining up. Does that ever happen to you guys?
Every day of my life.
Yeah, I think I need to go back to therapy, like imminently.
Yeah, every day is like a different color, and I'm like, what's going on? Does that make
I'm
sense?
very much yes, it makes perfect sense. Good God.
I got told today at work.
Yeah,
They're like-
talk about what happened at work today, because I got mad when you sent me that.
I hope she was joking.
So I want you guys to keep in mind that I have the most supportive, loving coworkers and company to work for.
Aww.
They are fully on board for this podcast journey that I'm on. They love that I'm going to these conventions, like in it to win it. But every once in a while, they bust my chops. And so we have a group chat for our recruiting team. And one of my coworkers always does a question of the day. And it's just to like pull us away for a second, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
His question was pretty lame today. And so nobody was answering. So my other coworker said, okay, in addition, what is the most annoying sound to you? And so I answered like typical, like if a pen is clicking too much or chewing, but I started off with my boss's name. I said, Kendra's voice. So I kind of egged this on myself. So then all of my other coworkers started answering. And then Kendra goes, well, I think the most annoying sound to me is Joseph Quinn's voice.
Electric chair.
You want to know what I did? I immediately left the chat. I said, I don't need this negativity in my space.
I respect that so much. You were like, no, you will not speak to me in this way.
Yeah.
Like,
And then Josh kept trying to put me back in and I just kept leaving. And I said,
Josh,
I don't want to be
your
any
coworker,
part
Josh?
of this conversation.
nice.
Yes.
I love that.
Danielle, you're the kind of person I fear in the workplace because I'm a pen clicker. But it's because for some reason, doing something really repetitive helps me concentrate.
Mhm.
Like I found myself walking around collecting makeup for my makeover and I was doing like this. And my boss was like, are you okay? And I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm just doing this to concentrate. And she was like, okay. So I do like
it's
these
one of
little
those things that don't really bother me unless it's over like 30 seconds. And then it's just like nails in my eardrums. Like my boss, she does the nail tapping, but it's not constant. It's,
yeah.
and I'm like, Kendra!
Kendra, quit your tapping.
But yeah.
All right, ladies, let's plug in the socials and wrap this bitch up.
If you want to check out the podcast socials, you can check us out on Instagram and Twitter at the Quinn Pod. And then the podcast TikTok is at the Quinn Podcast. If you want to follow me and check out what I'm up to, my Instagram is Miss Danielle, Danyell. And then my Instagram is DEEE Young. And that's it. Thanks for coming.
Yay!
Yay! I am just Laura Vanessa. I'm Laura Vanessa on social. TikTok and Instagram.
It doesn't have an H at the end of Laura or Vanessa.
Try the H if you want.
Yeah, do what you want.
If you're meant to find me, you will find me.
Yes. Hello. My Instagram is Starry Eyes, STARRYYEYES. And my TikTok is What's Up Shannon. Come say what's up.
What's up? What's up?
Thank you for listening. Happy birthday to Joseph. I hope you have an amazing birthday. I hope we see lots of pictures. I hope you have a really fun party this weekend for yourself.
Go tell him happy birthday. Hopefully he'll make
I hope you have
post.
Hope he had lots of tequila, a lot of dirty martinis, and wakes up with no hangover.
Yes. Just have a
Your
Pedialyte.
pillow is always cold.
Just have a Pedialyte. You'll be fine, Joseph.
Pedialyte.
I hope that your pillow is always cold.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks for coming, you guys. We love you.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.